So my gaming chair started making this noise again. Not a squeak, more like a low groan. Like it's disappointed in me. And I was sitting there thinking about that, just staring at the wall. And for some reason my brain decided that now was the perfect time to think about how the entire gaming world has quietly lost its mind. Not because of the chair. The chair is innocent. Mostly. It started when my friend told me something. He's not a cheater. He's not some tech wizard. He's just a guy. After work he logs in, plays a few rounds, chills out. And last week he tried to log in and the game just said permanently banned. Permanently, for cheating. Except he didn't cheat. Not once. He's not even good enough to be accused of cheating. I've seen him play. It's not a compliment. At first I thought it was just him. One unlucky guy. But then I started looking around. I went online, forums, social media, community pages, and I saw post after post after post. Same exact story. Someone who spent years building up their account. Someone who bought skins, battle passes, all the cosmetic junk. And then one random day, the game decides they're a hacker. Account gone, just like that. I started reading more about how this actually works, and I found out that a lot of these anti-cheat systems now run at something called kernel level. That basically means they have access to everything on your computer. Every running program, every process, every little thing your machine is doing, even how your mouse moves, even how your hardware behaves. That's the level of access we're talking about. And the idea is to catch cheats that hide deep in the background, which I get. Cheaters ruin games. Nobody likes them. But the problem is that a modern computer is absolute chaos under the hood. You've got Discord overlays, graphics card software, streaming tools, you've got keyboard lighting apps, headset software, maybe some performance monitor. All of it just running in the background. And the anti-cheat sees something it doesn't fully recognize. Something that maybe looks slightly weird to an algorithm. And instead of flagging it for a human to check, it just pulls the trigger. Instant permanent ban. I saw a post from someone who got banned because their RGB keyboard software was running RGB, the thing that makes your keyboard glow like a disco ball. That was enough to trigger a permanent cheating ban. I read that and just stared at my own keyboard for a solid 10 seconds, because my keyboard also glows. And now I'm thinking, great, my lighting preferences might get me executed by a robot. Another person I heard about had a network optimization tool open. You know, the kind that reduces lag, makes your connection more stable. Not a cheat, just a normal utility. But the anti-cheat saw it and went, nope, banned. Someone else had a temperature monitoring program running, you know, to make sure their CPU didn't melt, just checking that the computer wasn't turning into a small sun. And the anti-cheat flagged that as suspicious. I don't even know what to say about that. Getting banned because you don't want your processor to become a fire hazard. It's like getting arrested for owning a thermometer. I also read about people who had leftover files from old games they uninstalled months ago, maybe even longer. Just some forgotten folder sitting on the hard drive, doing absolutely nothing. But the new anti-cheat scanned it, saw those ghost files, and decided they were dangerous. So it banned the player from a completely different game. Imagine getting kicked out of a restaurant because you still had a receipt from another restaurant in your pocket. That's the logic, and nobody at the company is there to say, wait, that doesn't make sense. What really gets me is the punishment itself. In so many of these cases, it's not just a temporary suspension. It's a permanent hardware ban. They call it an HWID ban. That means the ban is tied to your actual physical machine. The computer itself is now marked. So even if you make a brand new account, even if you buy the game again, your hardware is blacklisted. You're just done. Completely locked out. Forever. My friend described it like being told you can never enter a store again. Not because of who you are, but because of the shoes you're wearing. And his shoes were just normal shoes. Nothing special. Just shoes. The appeal process is somehow even worse. You send in a ticket explaining the situation, telling them you didn't do anything, that you're just a regular person trying to relax after a long day, and within minutes you get a response. A response that says we have reviewed your case and confirmed the violation. Reviewed in minutes. By what? There is no possible way a real human being looked at it, not in that amount of time. It's an automated system. A robot. Deciding your fate in less time than it takes to make a cup of instant noodles. And they never show you any evidence. I saw someone online ask the support team what specific file or program triggered their ban, and the answer was basically, we can't tell you for security reasons. So you are punished permanently, and you're not even allowed to know why. It's the most guilty until proven innocent thing I have ever seen. And you can't prove your innocence. That's the real trap. How do you prove you didn't cheat? You can't submit a screenshot of nothing. You can't upload a video of yourself just playing normally and say, see, No cheats here. The system says you did it. And that's the end of the conversation. No human reevaluates it. No second opinion. Just a digital wall. What makes all of this even more frustrating is that the actual cheaters often find ways around it. They spoof their hardware. They use burner accounts. They're back in the game in no time. The system that was built to stop them mostly just inconveniences them, while the regular person who just wanted to wind down after work loses everything forever. It's completely backwards. The innocent get the hardest punishment, and the guilty are already queuing up for another match. I've been noticing that the wider media has started picking up on this too, not just random forum posts. Actual news outlets have written about these waves of false bans. Multiple big games have had incidents where normal players got swept up. The coverage is out there if you look for it, and it shows that this isn't just a few isolated cases. It's a real pattern happening across the industry, a quiet, ongoing thing. The only people who seem to get their accounts back are the loud ones, the ones who post about it everywhere, the ones who get enough attention that a real person finally steps in. I've seen stories where someone made a big enough noise online and suddenly their ban was reversed, miraculously. But what about everyone else? The quiet ones. The people who don't use social media much, the ones who just accept it and move on. They disappear. Their accounts gone forever, along with all the time and money they put in. And we're not talking about small amounts. I've seen people mention spending serious cash on these games. Skins, battle passes, deluxe editions, at launch. All of that just evaporates the moment the ban hits. And there is no refund system that covers this. The digital storefronts don't help. The game companies don't help. It's just gone. Poof. It makes me wonder why anyone would want to invest in these games anymore. If your account can be deleted by an algorithm that had a bad day, if your time and money mean nothing when the machine decides you look suspicious, why would you keep playing? Why would you keep spending? The trust is broken. And I've started noticing that some players are just giving up on online multiplayer entirely. They're moving to games where no anti-cheat is watching their every click, where they don't have to install software that digs deep into their system, where they can play without this constant low-level anxiety in the back of their mind. And honestly, I get it. The whole situation feels like we're renting access to our own hobby, and the landlord can evict us for any reason, or no reason at all. That's not what gaming used to be. Back in the day, you bought a disc, you put it in, you played. Nobody could ban you from your own cartridge. Now, everything is online. Everything is a service, and the service can decide you don't exist anymore. The casual stupidity of that is almost impressive in the dumbest way possible. I think about how these anti-cheat technologies keep getting more advanced, more invasive, and the false positives don't seem to be going down. If anything, they're increasing, but nobody independent is keeping track. No outside oversight, no regulator, just the companies saying our anti-cheat is very accurate, and we're all supposed to nod and accept that. I'm not saying we should remove anti-cheat completely. Cheaters are a real problem, obviously. But maybe there's a better way than instantly and permanently nooking people based on an automated guess. Maybe a temporary suspension first. Something that gets reviewed by an actual person, a human being, with eyes. I know it sounds radical. Hire one person to read appeals. Maybe two if the company's feeling generous. Or even just tell the player what triggered the ban. Like, hey, this specific file looked like a cheat. Please remove it. That would solve so many headaches. But no. That would require transparency. And apparently, transparency is a security risk. Somehow, I talked to my friend again, the one who got banned. He told me he's not even angry anymore, just tired. He said he can't be bothered to fight it. He already moved on, started playing something else, something older. He said it's weird how quickly you can go from being a loyal customer to just being a name on a banned list, and the company will never even notice he's gone. And that's the thing. When this happens at scale, when enough normal players get burned, they just leave. They don't make videos about it. They don't write essays. They just quietly uninstall, and the companies will look at their declining player numbers and wonder what happened. This is what happened. I've also been thinking about how the big voices in gaming rarely touch this. You see them covering the new maps, and the new weapons, and the new battle passes. But they don't talk about the people getting falsely banned. Maybe because of sponsorships. Maybe because they need early access. Maybe because it's not a fun topic. But the silence is noticeable, and it's strange. That's why I'm making this, even if it's just me rambling into the void. Because someone should say something, even if nothing changes. At least, it's out there. Anyway, that's my long, slow rant about the accidental war on normal players. I got a little worked up, but I think I made sense. Mostly. My chair is still making that noise, by the way. I might need to actually deal with that. Or not, maybe it adds character. If any of this has happened to you or someone you know, let me know in the comments. Maybe if enough of us make some noise, someone will actually notice. Probably not, but it's worth a try. I'm going to go play something now that can't ban me for existing. Thanks for listening to me yap. Peace.
This message will be my last entry. I'm out of food, water, and have no way of getting away from wherever I am now. This path has been traveled before, and will be again. To whoever finds this,